today we are driving through Angeles Crest.
I like to come out here and drive. It is a beautiful place with windy roads, and we are here to drive our new cars.
I'm driving a Porsche 911 and Joe is driving a Jaguar. Joe and I have been doing Just Kidding Films for about 8 years now.
We started Just Kidding Films in 2007.
So when me and Joe first started JK, we were both in college.
We were 1996 Toyota Camry. Oh my God. Dirt fucking poor.
And we're living the typical college lifestyle.
Damn, y'all having an orgy up in here? Man. What up? Here goes Danny's taking a dump. Straight up taking a dump in the bathroom.
And back then, my uniform was a wife beater and basketball shorts and sandals. And Joe's uniform was a big white tee, Dickies, and Chucks. And he was bald, and I had like a little faux hawk, and I used to cut my own hair. During those times, that's when we would get YouTube checks like every 6 months. Some months we didn't even receive a check because you don't get a check until you reach $100 threshold. So sometimes it'd be like 57 bucks. And I'm like, oh no, we're not gonna get it. We gotta wait till next month when the 57 adds with the $63 that we're gonna get, and then 2 months we'll get like 120 bucks.
That's straight up purple ass crayon right there on the wall. What the fuck? We didn't really have this strategy of like, yo, we should turn this into a business, we should do this or that. All we were was just two kids having fun.
I think both Joe and I were very skeptical and not too certain as to where YouTube was gonna go. We just really loved what we did, so we kept doing it. It definitely wasn't for the money. And I think one of the biggest motivations at that time is when we first discovered what comedy was, we didn't see anyone that represented us.
There's no Asians out there that's actually putting it down for us.
I mean, there were Asians in comedy, but they were doing white content. White people would be writing the content and then they would just deliver the lines.
Either whitewashed or like, they were that Asian kid that grew up in an all-white community. There were never any like Asian kids that I grew up with. So I think what we wanted to do was create content that was something we can relate to. Like how In Living Color did for black folks, you know?
Like there's Dave Chappelle, they write about stories of the hood. Kevin Hart, there's Latino comedians like George Lopez or even Carlos Mencia. They write about stories of their childhood and their upbringing, and you can laugh at the common pains that we all go through. But there was no Asian comedy that talked about all of us getting our asses beat.
I killed you! Ow! Mom! Ow! Ow! I finished at school! Ow! You want no fucking meal? I'm sorry! Ow! What's my name? I don't want.
Or our parents giving us money for certain things, or all of us having to take our shoes off at home. So we felt like there was this huge void that needed to be filled, and we just had a great time telling our story, and there was such a demand that we just kept doing it. So one of the biggest things that worked against me personally was definitely my parents. When I dropped it on them that, you know what, I actually want to be a clown online, that's when they're like, what the fuck? And they wanted to pull their hair out, and they're like, why did you take an MCAT course? Why did you volunteer all those hours at the hospital? Why are you pre-med if you're just gonna throw all of that shit away? And at that time, I didn't have the answers to their questions because it just didn't feel right at the time, and I feel like you have to follow your heart. So I couldn't explain to my parents logistically what I really wanted to accomplish, but I just had to keep going. And my parents on a weekly basis would be like, no, you gotta get back into school, you gotta stop being a clown, stop that online bullshit. But I just couldn't stop. I just had to keep doing it.
Being an entertainer was like a huge life goal for me, because not only did I want to prove to myself that I can do this, but I wanted to show everyone else that don't use race as a crutch. Like, if you want to go out there and pursue something, let your skills speak for you, you know? I guess I was fortunate enough that my dad was an opera singer that was Asian, and I didn't know how rare or different that was because I just grew up with it. And then later on, when I started hearing about all these stereotypes, I started thinking, we actually hold ourselves back by thinking this way. When you create these stereotypes in your own mind, you hold yourself back saying like, well, I'll never play basketball because I'm Asian. You don't see any Asian basketball players, but look at Jeremy Lin.
I just wanted to do the best and I can in what I love to do. So as we started building JK, I just wanted to make sure I had the right tools. So we started self-educating, reading books, meeting up with a lot of mentors, and kind of just taking like these little morsels of wisdom and trying to figure out ways to apply it to JK. Of course, like growing up Asian, there's always like this mentality of like, whatever I do, whether I'm an engineer, accountant, astronaut, or actor, I hope that one day I can give back to my parents. So I wanted to be successful, not to shut them up, but just so that I can have them be relieved that I have a stable career and I'm able to give back one day. Entering into our 30s now, almost all the infrastructure that we put in place, it now all synergistically work together. All the channels that we have, all the views, transferring demographic from channel to channel. But then 2014 is when everything really started to come together. That exponential growth kept growing into the first quarter of 2015. And that's when our accountant told us, you guys are making a shit ton of money.
And then he goes, okay, now you gotta spend this money or else you're gonna give the government 100 grand. I was like, what?
So the first thing that me and Joe decided that we must do is give bonuses to all the people that stuck with us from the past, including the people that aren't even part of the team anymore. Collectively, me and Joe cut $100,000 worth of bonus checks to the whole team in varying amounts.
And just said, bam, 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 bam. And then he came back and he goes, you gotta spend more. And I was like, what?
When we heard that news, we actually had a show that weekend. During that whole show, all me and Joe did was just going on YouTube and watching car videos.
We would like look at different cars, we'd watch videos, we would talk and debate.
And just listen. Like if the maid was outside of our hotel room and she was listening in, all she would have heard is and a bunch of British voices curating the whole video. And that was us for the whole weekend, and we finally decided that I wanted to get a Porsche and Joe wanted to get a Jaguar. In addition to the $100,000 bonus checks we cut, I also was able to give my dad 20 grand, and I just showed up at his door. I didn't even give him a warning, and I just gave it to him. And I just wanted to catch him off guard just to see how he would be. And I think he was very shocked for like 2 seconds. And then he asked me, do you want to go eat something? But I know that I got to him, and I knew that like now, like that sign or that amount of money given to him, he knows that I'm stable, and hopefully now he can finally trust that I've made the right decision in life and that he can fully support me. And I think ultimately that I'm a man now and he no longer has to care and worry about me as if I'm his child. And it's just very heartwarming to be able to feel like we can finally repay all the things that our parents did for us.
A lot of people, they see like what you got. They see the 1 million+ subscribers. They see like, oh cool, they got cool cars now. Fucking lucky. Like, I hate that word lucky, because no, we weren't lucky. It wasn't overnight. Like, we spent 7 years doing this. And when I look back, I'm just like, damn dude, if it wasn't for our friendship, if it wasn't for this support network that we had, I don't know how I could have done it on my own. And at the same time, I don't know how much I could have withstood not getting paid enough. But because I was pursuing my passion and doing things that I believed in, that's what kept me going.
If I was offered an alternative route through a time machine, I think what I would have chosen is to be truer to myself and pursue my passion sooner. Thank you for watching and allowing us to share that inspiring story with you guys. But I want you guys to remember that none of this could have happened without you. So at the end of the day, it's because of you guys, that you guys believed in us, that is allowing us to be able to do what we love, to end up making you guys happy and making content that you guys like. So at the end of the day, very, very thankful for you guys. Every single Sunday, we're always gonna be uploading a new video teaching good things in a bad way. And also, make sure you follow us on Instagram. All of us have personal Instagram, so if you guys wanna see what we do on a daily basis, make sure you go in the description below and follow all of us on Instagram if you guys don't get enough of us on the weekly. Peace!